Uh, what can I tell you? So you can see I have two comments in the comments section. I was trying to get this thing to work. I was late. I'm sorry about that, but I was not 32 minutes late. I mean, Haps would just not let me in. I essentially had to shut down my system and restart the whole thing. Uh, so yeah, that's how my morning started. Um, I was prepared. I even had coffee made, man. I was looking forward to being a tad tardy, not, you know. So I hope everyone is having the coffee is horrible. I really made it in a rush. And man, I got here at like 7:10. Well, about maybe a little before 7:10 to set this whole thing up, and it just buffered and buffered. Pictures wouldn't come through. Redid it, closed the browser, relaunched the browser, sent them text message to my man. Yo, your haps ain't let me in, dog. What up with that? I wish I knew the people who started this, just so I could fucking yell at them a little more. Because whoever they're talking to isn't yelling at them a lot. This shouldn't happen. Come on, man. Anyway, get what you pay for, right? Today is a day. What are we doing today? We were going to learn uh, a guitar blues riff, but I didn't look it up because I did a show yesterday. After my show, I did a show. Um, I mean, Haps has a lot going for it, man. Oh, I just hope they don't fuck it up. It seems like I hope they don't fuck it up. I hope they don't forget these the early adapters, which all these giant companies will do. So we talked about standing up while playing, right? We need to do more of that. We talked about playing the electric more. We need more of that. But then I remember why I don't play because the low, I want to say the low E string, the high E string, the bottom E string, the first string, the first string, which is the E string. Let's just call it that, the first string. Somehow gets caught under one of these frets, and I'm like, what? And I can actually feel which one. I wonder if I went in there with a small hammer and tapped it down, if it would. But I think it probably needs to be sanded. I mean, it's a good guitar, but I sort of want to buy a new one anyway. Um, but I shouldn't buy a new one. I should do what I have and stop being ridiculous. And I fully agree. Uh, so I guess it'll be a bonus when I get good enough to buy a new guitar. Oh my goodness, what a night. I feel like I've been out all night partying and chasing cute chicks when all I did was stay up super extra late after talking. Mm. All right. But we were going to learn a blues riff, and I didn't get a chance to look up one because, like I said, I did someone else's podcast. And then someone told me, "Come on, you remember it. It was right there. You can see it. What did what shifted? We talked about power chords, and then I was going to do the blues thing, but then that got interrupted by what was that thing that we changed for? Geez, man, I'm really gonna have to keep a man. All right, I forgot what it was, but it's gonna come back to me because that's amazing. It's not coming back to me. God dang it. Uh, well, hey, these these random non sequiturs, I think is the word that I think I do a lot of. Sort of play into the larger thing, right? So I'll say something, I'll forget it, I get off on a rant, I'll come back to it 20 minutes later, I get halfway through it again, then I'll come back to it 10 minutes after that and finish up the story. Uh, it's what we call loose talk, right? It's not a speech. And if this was conversation, you would understand it because you'd be doing the same thing. I track some of the stuff you're saying and drop some of the non-important stuff, right? As you're talking, a kid may run up and go, "Can I answer?" You go, "Oh yeah, right." So all this kind of life energy, let's call it. Um, Yeah, but we were going to do something else today. We found pop, of course, yesterday. We were going to get a blues riff today, and we didn't. And then we said, "Oh, why don't we do what? What was that thing? It was not the arts and craft to make the big guitar. The big guitar. It sounds like I've got like equipment here to make an actual giant guitar. Uh, we've got some vellum paper, and we're gonna just do the large neck of the guitar. We're gonna put it up here as a good reference. Man, look, I really do believe if you draw this up, you write about it in books, you sort of double instill it in your subconscious, right? So first you're playing it, or trying to play it, and then you're writing a song about it that feeds into the music, or you're going, I need to better know these chords. So you make that little thing that I made down there with the first four frets of the guitar, and that's like, wait, is this you want to get it right? Because it's a project that you like. You're doing a project, and this is how people are. Oh, I'm into this project. You pick. I mean, if I gave you a project that you hated, you didn't like, you wouldn't. You'd be like smoking, talking, whatever, doing the base minimum. But if you go, oh, I'm gonna do this, and you take it up because whether someone inspired it or not, uh, you're more invested in it, right? So you're thinking about it. It's sort of like, what colors do I want to use? What pens do I want to use? Are these too thin? Are these too thick? Should I paint it over? Should I maybe I should make it an art piece. I was actually thinking about that. Maybe I should put it on a canvas, paint it, get some color, da 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 da. I actually may still do that. Put it on a nice big canvas. Well, I don't have any. Well, that blue canvas is a fairly big canvas. Put it on something like that, or buy a thin canvas. I was thinking about, a 2 foot by 6 foot, just long, thin canvas, and paint it on, just hang it on the wall. Just probably like hang it right next to like my Beatles chord chart or something. Um, but that I'm about to say extra credits. That Come on, man, this is like not hard. It's not extra credit. Kids do it all the time. It's arts and crafts, right? So the arts and craft of it is, as you do it, also settles into your mind. Um, oh, you know what I was gonna do? I was gonna tell you. So I was thinking about crashing the day on guitar and doing a well, I wasn't really gonna crash it down the guitar because I got really mad when I couldn't get into Haps. I was like, Haps is about to blow my 1,000-day streak. At what day are we? 12, right? 13, something like that. And I was sort of like, that's why I texted my man, because the only reason I'm on Haps is because my man. And I was like, dude, yo. But he did the proper thing. He fully ignored it because it was like 7 in the morning. Um, and mind you, we're just supposed to these are supposed to be light incursions into art in the morning, and then we attack it later at night with better conversation and like stories of the day. Who knows? Maybe one of these tattoo things will involve me getting a guitar tattoo on like my arm, right? Something. So guitar notes. Excuse me. So we were thinking about doing that. Working the OBS and seeing if I could get some games going. Because if I can get some games going, this morning session can be playing Guitar Hero, right? It's still finger exercises. It's still fun. Maybe hop in with other people and play. So we'll see how it works. You know what? I have been doing a lot of Hats broadcasting over the last month, more so than I did on YouTube or Twitch when I had it. It's really handy. But now I feel like I'm ignoring my Twitch and my YouTube channels. I mean, I guess I got to figure out a way to, you know, to make this work for me. But I gotta tell you, I fully enjoy it. I did TJ's pod yesterday. It was great. It was super great. Uh, and I realized I still like talking politics. I just don't like talking politics, I guess, with some people, right? Some people are, look, the whole point of a conversation is to give people information that to sort of sway them to your end of the conversation. What's going on over here? uh, to draw them to your side of the conversation. Um, and they're supposed to be doing the same thing. It's not, well, I just want to say this, and I don't really, not really listening to you. It's not really a dialogue then. It's more like your your monologue, your rebuttal monologue, right? It's just, and I can be that way sometimes too. Um, but not often, because I'm a whore for information. I really am. What is he? Not gossip. I mean, gossip is information too. But I could give a fuck about your gossip, uh, unless it's. I'm about to say it's no, I don't care if it's tertiary to anything I'm doing. I don't want it. I want it to be impactful in a real and serious way. I really need to shave my head. You know what? If I'm going bald, I don't see why I don't get half off, since half is off. Um, it is commerce, right? Cha 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 cha. So we are 11 minutes in. We just started this thing. It's a half hour late because of a weird anomaly, let's just say. Mess with my feelings. Was really, 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 really not happy about it. Super sort of pissed about it, quite frankly. But now I'm back. I've got my coffee. I got my beloved iPad timer just slowly ticking away. Let's give it some ridiculous number. Yeah, there you go. Let's do that. Um, mhm. Sometimes you just want to lie on the floor. Sit on the floor, lie on the floor. Yes, all good stuff. So I've been running at this, and I'm beginning to think that I have been not purposefully, but I've been neglecting my friends, my big homie, Smooth Panic, uh, uh, more conversations with people in my family, right? I think about this a lot, which is good. We said 1,000 days. All my ideas swim around guitar playing and being a blues man, and the whole idea of doing it, and a lot of time we gave ourselves to do it, and we made really good progress. I mean, so I've got a Eric mustache here. I think I spoke about it a couple of days ago, and now it's just kind of like tickling my snoot. Um, so look, man. Here's the thing about internet, right? There's some of us who are just people, and I mean, like I haven't monetized anything, right? And I guess I can maybe get around to it if I go, oh, really? People want me to, you know, do X, Y, Z. But I think most people are looking for some sort of famous star online, right? So YouTube has a ton of them. But it also has a lot of just good regular people, right? Who cook, right, in their kitchens, who uh, do auto mechanic work in their garages, and they're not mechanics or anything, right? That's kind of my wheelhouse, sort of regular, everyday. Hey, look, this guy, his fucking horrible. Excuse my language. And again, I'm trying to slow down on cursing, and that will eventually happen too, but it's not immediate. So I don't want to. I don't want to put off people who are super, super. But at the same time, I'm not changing to be a better, to get more people to like you, right? There's an art to that too. But I figure if I just keep being me and keep being uh play guitar online, I'll find people who kind of fit me, right? So if you do it uh for a year and you get 10 people to follow you in a year, right? And if you're doing it for 10 years, you may have 1,000 people, but you're not really doing it for them. You're sort of doing it to do it, right? You're doing it for you. So, and it's also a nice archive of me playing the guitar, right? So one day, maybe when I'm old and gray, someone will find these and go, these are sort of weirdly interesting, right? He plays a little guitar, then he gives you bits of what was going on in his day. Like if this was 100 years ago, I'd be trying to play like, well, what was I don't even know. Like I probably still trying to play the guitar, flamenco guitar or something, talking about what happened 120 1921, talking about the stock market crash, and uh, if Roosevelt is gonna, which Roosevelt? Roosevelt came in the 30s. Teddy Roosevelt is gonna run again. Boom, right? So it'd be all that kind of stuff. They look back at it and go, huh, interesting, goofy. Every man, what is it? Is it every man? And every man's account of things. Not a scientist, not a sociologist, just a dude out here who drinks coffee with his homies, goes to work, talks to them, get their assessment, at my assessment. Go, do we really feel that way in our like political class, our economic class? Oh, okay. And then come back here, play a little guitar and go, hey, XYZ is XYZ. Like yesterday, the show we did, we talked about women. And in an honest way. So I don't think we were mean spirited. Like honest, just because you say honest doesn't mean you can be freaking dark. You know what I mean? Excuse me. So, yeah. So it doesn't mean you can be dark. We can criticize without being, asshats. And we did that, right? We had issues. I'm sure somewhere online there's a woman's podcast of a lady and her 4 or 5 girlfriends going, what men, probably with men, right? So we gave them their accolades, but we also gave them their lumps. And that's a conversation you're not going to find on like broadcast TV because everybody's trying to be super nice or super politically correct. And God forbid a white person tell a story about an experience with a black person, everybody's going to put it in racial lenses, and then that person may lose their gig. And you're like, what? So there are, whether you want to admit it or not, there are breaks on talking about race. Because I could go up there, enlighten you, and eat your lunch on this topic. I'm not going to be doing it on MSNBC or CNN or anything, because all my race topic are peppered with history, right? Then peppered with policy. It's not just what I think about it. And I run into a lot of people as we talk. They feel a certain way because they feel a certain way, and that's fine. But your feelings, fuck your feelings. We're dealing in facts here, and the facts are like we mentioned. Excuse me, Asian assaults, right? And I'm openly like, yeah, don't beat up anybody, but seriously, I know a political ploy when I see one, and I'm gonna call it such. No one is kicking Asian people's asses to any real record number. They aren't, right? I mean, granted, there was some of all things. There will be a spectrum. There will be the innocuous bullshit of he pushed it. First of all, why are you out here pushing old people around? He pushed this old lady down, this Asian old lady. Yeah, lock his stupid ass up. And then over here, someone killed people, right? Yeah, throw his ass in jail. But per the whole, tell me the number. All the Asians, is this happening to 1 in 2 Asians? Is it happening to 1 in 5? Is it happening to 1 in 1,000? Is it happening to 1 in every 10 million? Tell me that number. Because if you go, let's say our Asian population, we don't even have to, let's say, we can look up the fucking Asian population. I think the Asian population is 1%. So let's say 1% of the national number, and the national number I think is 364 million people. So that's 1% of 364 is 3.4 million Asians. How many Asians are? Let's see if we're good with our ghetto math here. How many Asians are in the American population? Right, the black population is 12%. 22 million. What did I say? I said 3. Wait, 394, and I said 3%. No, I'm sorry. Right, that's based on 100. Okay, so I should have said 9, but it still would have been wrong. 22.9 million. They're 5% of the population. I thought they were 1% of the population. Okay, fine. But 22 million people. Is this happening once per million? That means there's 22 incidents a year, and I don't care. You know what I mean? But if this is happening once per every 100 people, that's hundreds of thousands of Asian people being fucked with who don't need to be fucked with. And since their population is small, let's face it, you'd have to go looking for them to fuck with them. So yeah, throw him in jail. Why you bother? But these numbers are not what they say they are. So yeah, you can pass this about that. But now it's just another thing that a magistrate can misinterpret. So now, if you get in my face, Asian guy, and I have to beat your ass, and it's just a fight, which should just be a fight, now all of a sudden it's a 30-year racial crime against Asian people. And there's no history of that. Well, there is a history of that in California in the 1800s. And now people mess with it. I remember growing up, there were white guys in Jersey called the Dot Busters, and they would just run around beating up Hindu people with the dot here, right? Beating up Hindu people just to be savage, white, racist asshats, right? I mean, there's no, but there's rules on the books for that. So I'm not for that because every time I turn on a television set, there are no Asians on the floor, dead or shot or killed, but there are black people dead, shot, killed by cops and random citizens. Like that Arbery thing. I used to run in the street. That Arbery thing, I don't run anymore, right? Then I got to get up and drive to the park. Maybe I run there, but I used to be able to like just jog. And plus, here down here, everybody's weird with their dogs. You'll turn the corner, there'll be 3 Rottweilers sitting in the street, and you're like, God damn it! Hope they didn't see me. So it's this kind of thing. Yeah, stop being a racist. Stop being an asshat. But also, don't get punked by bullshit gamesmanship of these people who want to lord over you, and they don't have any good policy. Look at that building in Miami. People have been saying that building was gonna. They didn't say it was gonna fall, but essentially they were like, disaster is imminent, and disaster. Look, didn't even, and it happened at night when everybody was home with their babies and their grandmas. It's so sinister. People really do need to be locked up. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up in 10 minutes. I didn't even pick up the guitar. I'm talking politics. Let's move you. Don't be a mess. Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your gin and juice in the hood. 22 million Asians. Good job. 68 million blacks. Been here since the dawn of it. I don't want to fucking hear shit from new people telling me what should be done. And a lot of them are telling me, well, we didn't own slaves. Y'all don't deserve anything. I'm like, it's not about you giving me shit. It's about the government letting this happen, and the government needs to make it right. So now you go in the government going, the government doesn't owe you shit. And you just showed up here from, no, fuck you. I don't care what you say. Meanwhile, we give all this money to Israel and England. Why we give money to England? For God's sakes. So yeah, all these things in the modern era, the intelligent black guys like, you know, go kick rocks. I mean, we are a good percentage of the American military too. Just because cats don't get loose don't mean they won't get loose. Just because they don't get loose don't mean they don't know how to get loose. Just because they don't get loose don't mean that there's loyalty here for you. So all these things are now in play. All these bodies on the ground, all these quote unquote allies getting laws to have you further, push, underwater. So if anybody in the Democratic Party was serious, they would tell you they love this idea we got all the minorities in the Democratic Party. A lot of us don't get along. Andrew Yang, I went in on him yesterday. He's a giant joke. And I said this when he was running, and everybody was like, Andrew Yang is great, and now Andrew Yang is out. He's a corporatist and he's not clever. Here's the con. If he was a billionaire, he'd have sent you this money to get him elected, right? But he's not. So what he does is he goes, hey, if you make me president, if you make me, president, I'll give you money, right? This UBI. No, leave the money where it is. You're essentially bribing the population. What is your policy? He had no policy for anybody other than cute words that we should all get along, and telling you exactly what every other black politician has been telling you is wrong with the system. And now all those things that's wrong with the system that black people have been talking about is wrong with the system for them is now the same thing wrong with the system for everybody. They sold you, well, those people are lazy, and then they put lead in pipes and all this stuff, gave you the worst neighborhoods, worst thing. Now that's everywhere. And you're sitting here going, how can this be America? Because they fleeced it. They wrote shitty laws so they could get away with stuff. I mean, I was watching, and people are sort of just shitty. I was watching, I want to say Bill Maher. Maybe it wasn't Bill Maher, because I don't watch Bill Maher anymore. He's a get off my lawn guy. Just because you were liberal 10 years ago don't mean you're still liberal. Bill Maher is not liberal anymore. But he was talking to Quentin Tarantino, and Quentin Tarantino said something I found incredibly despicable. He said everybody knew I think he used the word Uncle Weinstein, right? Godfather, like a familiar term, that he was doing this. And I said, you let essentially a roving rapist that you knew about out in the world because you were friendly with him and you could make money with him. Ooh, it's so sinister. If look, there was a case where I've mentioned this before. This guy in California killed this girl in a bathroom in a full crowded mall, and his buddy sort of knew about it. Didn't go to saw him take her in there, kill this girl. Didn't say anything. Didn't do anything. The cops and there was a video because it's a mall, and they the question came because his friend went to jail for murdering a child, right? They were college kids, mind you. They hadn't graduated from college. They were in college. I think they were like sophomores, so like 20. But one guy went to jail for murdering this little black girl, and his buddy. They were both white guys. His buddy, the DA was like, I want to charge him with aiding and abetting. They were like, yeah, but really, he didn't really aid and abet. They were like, yeah, but he didn't do anything. He should have done something. And then the question when they wanted to prosecute him, that I don't think they charged him with anything, but it opened. Oh, I don't think it went to court. It might have went to court, but I'm not sure. I don't want to say. But the question became, what is your responsibility? If I'm sitting here looking out my window talking to you and I see a guy drag a woman behind the bushes and beat and rape her, and I'm like, oh my God, that dude is doing that horrible thing to that lady. Anyway, let's go back to our core practice. You online would be like, what the heck did he just say? Right? You would be properly outraged. That's what happened. Everybody was absolutely outraged. And the thing was, we can't make you do the right thing. And he didn't help him do this crime, even though he knew about it and sat and went about his business. So I think he was a UCLA student. The campus went absolutely apeshit. They didn't want him on campus. And I think they got him off. I don't know what happened to him. I probably went to another college, but I think they got him off campus by just saying that, your behavior doesn't represent the school or the college. And, you're now a problem and we can't even guarantee your safety on campus. And they got rid of him. Then he sued the campus and lost the case because they're like, but the idea that you watch somebody do some sinister shit and go about your business is just the wildest thing to me. The idea that Quentin Tarantino was like, oh yeah, we all knew Harvey Weinstein was running around here doing this wild stuff. I want you to think of the people who get off that bus, right? How old are they? They're not 40 going, right? They don't have a bunch of like life experience. Some of them are like, oh, I'm going to be a rock star. I'm 22. I'm 24. I showed up at, and then the people who've been there just been sharks swimming into that pool since, they were pushing racist films and sexist films. And now they're pushing, Hollywood is always pushing you, whatever the society says is all right. So you could disrespect women, society says it's all right. Let's give you a bunch of that. You can disrespect, no moral shit ever figures into Hollywood. That's what I'm saying. So Hollywood has a giant racist history. And there's a moment when I think George Clooney, idiot, was getting a speech and he was like, Hollywood has always been liberal. We were for, and I was like, no, it hasn't. What are you talking about? And you buy your own shit. No one else has a giant apparatus to challenge what you're saying. So, but you have to know what people are doing. Power chords, y'all? Power chords. It's 8 o'clock. Oh my God, I got 15 minutes. How long have we been going? We've been going for half an hour. All right, we are not gonna be, well, you know what? This was a good talk. And I'm not saying you should intervene yourself. For all I know, you are, 5 foot nothing, weigh a buck of nothing. And that's it. So, I mean, but I'm not trying to be part of the horror, right? Whether by purpose or by accident. So, like I said a couple of days ago, you need to walk in with your head on a swivel. You walk into a party and there are sins people like, I better get the hell out of here. And versus sitting here hanging out, not knowing what's going on. The door is closed. it becomes a red wedding party. And if it does do that, you better be able to fucking make the correct moves you need to make, because it's a kill box at that point. So don't be the one who gets killed. All of these are essentially metaphors that you can also take as I got to work on my typing. Maybe I got a typing game. Maybe I'll do that. I always send my man Smooth Panic tech, and they all. I've begun to, like I said, have respect for your readers. I used to write a lot of slang, like haps, HAPP, right? Instead of what's happening, I go, what's the haps, right? Or I'll say, what he says he's coming SCZ, right? Just shorthand, because you got limited characters. You do that online, and people want to be like grammar police and tell you that's not how you spell them. Totally missed the point of whatever you're talking about. To point out that, what's happening, HAP-N. What's happening? That's not how you spell what's happening, and it's to carry the destruction of the education system and the. Most of these people have never picked up anything to help anyone do anything. Everyone is just happy to criticize, right? Criticizing as their ass grows. Here's another thing that's weird. All the tattoos, it's a vanity project, all these tattoos. Tattoos are vanity, right? Images on you, whatever you get. But if you're going to go in for vanity, go full in, right? Be fucking fit, right? That's vanity too. I see people put all this money into all these tattoos and all their hair, and then I look at them, I'm like, ugh, it's going to take 9 of your friends to bury your giant ass. You could get tight, my brother. It's important. Your health is important, especially in this environment where there's food shortages, and in 10 years you may have to fight your neighbor with a spear for sustenance. That cat horde that you know of. Good morning, Lauren. I hope all is well. I'm on a ramble talking about politics. We're going to give this 5 more minutes. So yeah, I need to somehow figure out today to do to do the OBS on HAPS, so we can play some games. Maybe I can show a couple of my cooking vids or something, and just make it a little more visually enticing for you to want to hang around. Oh, wow. You have an Apple Music stream too? I'm gonna check. Well, I have to like and subscribe to you, because where's that? Because I would love to hear this. I would love to see it. I'm on a musical journey. Let's like this. So remember, I was, I was looking up singing, and I was like, I'm not even gonna try. It looks harder than. Oh, you play the uke, nice. It seems harder to learn to sing than to learn to play an instrument. Because somebody can just go, put your finger here and strum this, right? And I can do that. But I think if someone said that do re mi fa sol la ti, I can do it if you do it, but I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I might be able to mimic you like in a mirror, but then you'll do that range thing that I can't do, and then I'm like, maybe I'll what is his name? The piano has been drinking, not me. Maybe I'm that guy. Maybe I'm not Waits, Tom Watts. What is his name? Anyway, it'll come to me. But so maybe I'm gonna try singing. I'm gonna do. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna try singing, but yeah, I figure I'm just gonna try and get by with the horrible screechings that I've been doing since listening to the radio as a boy. But man, yeah, I want to hear your singing, because people say everybody can sing, and that's not the case. I mean, everybody can talk. Well, that's not the case either, but everybody has a voice, right, to sing, let's say. But not everybody can sing. It's a totally different beast. It's like everybody, I'm using these terms, which everyone has legs, so theoretically you could run a marathon, but that is not the case. So, I mean, Whitney Houston is just, wow. I think me singing should be called that. But once you get paid to do it, it should be called something totally different because us regular people can't even mess with it. Um, but yeah, that doesn't mean that all of you in the chat. I mean, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to pick up one of these things. Like we said yesterday, discipline is good for you. It strengthens you, especially music. Music gives you a better outlook. All the stuff that you hear in your head. Oh, I know what note that is now. Maybe you can write that down. Uh, yeah, it's a plus. The community is awesome. Like every day I do this. Every other day or so, I meet a new musician giving me like tips or information. It's just great stuff. So remember, I guess this small segment of keeping music in your head before we do our show tonight uh, was I guess a little bit about politics, right? A little bit about not being fooled, a little bit about discipline. Get your instrument, guitar, ukulele, piano, horn, recorder, harmonica, right? We got a couple of. Oh, we actually got all three of those over there. Well, not a horn. We have a flute, a recorder, and a harmonica. Get some drum pads if you got aggression. You don't actually need to get the whole thing. Mind you, I am not a music. Well, we said yesterday we were all musicians. I am a Dungeons and Dragons style. I am a zero level musician, looking to be a first level musician. And I think all the people I see are generally at least 10th level musicians because they've been doing it for years, right? But all this equipment here implies that something in the back of my head all these years had me walking into guitar centers and looking at stuff and playing with stuff and watching these Zero to Hero videos, my first year of playing guitar on you, and then just kind of jumping in, when I probably should have jumped in way earlier, 10, 20 years ago, because it was always with me, right? It's always whispering in my ear music stuff. So I think I'm a frustrated musician, closet, and I think a lot of people are like that. For all you guys know, you should have been a pianist, but the piano in your house wasn't tuned and people told you to stop playing it. You should have been a drummer, always banging on stuff. Your mom told you, stop banging on stuff. You're making me crazy. Go outside and play, right? So all this stuff, now that you're not a little kid, you can investigate it. You can pick up a new hobby, right? Uh, Things that I stopped doing since I did this. I used to watch a lot of TV, Netflix stuff. Now I just do this and sort of search the web and do this. Um, Used to be a little more fit. That's going to come into play. But all these things, we talked about the idea of foundational habits, right? So, example, if you start your every day, we're doing a 7 a.m., right? So my foundational habit was supposed to be working out, then doing this. You or dream about music and write it down when you wake up. Yes. Oh yeah, cool. That's how that's how Paul McCartney wrote now the song. Paul McCartney wrote, it's gonna come back to me. But yeah, it's a famous story about how he woke up and he was like, "Is this anybody's?" And they were like, "No, I've never heard that. That's beautiful. I think that's yours." And you're like, "I guess it is." And then they, God, yeah, guitar. But that's the magic, right? Isn't everything hard when you started? But every day, you get 1% better, and every day you get 1% better, and all of a sudden you look up one day, and I think it's about like I want to say 6 to 9 months, right? You all of a sudden you kind of get it. Like there's your first realism of, oh, okay. And then as you play on, I guess one of the other markers is you sitting down writing a song, right? With the chords, as few as they are, how many as they be, right? That's the next step in your progress. And when it's seeped into your head, like Lauren said, right? You're dreaming of music, then you can wake up and write it down. That's what we want. Plus, like when you bring like your guitar, your flute, musicians are like, I mean, they'll tell you chords, they'll tell you tricks. Oh, you gotta listen to this album made by this, but it's such a cool group to be in. So trying to be in that cool group, giving up a lot of my like I'm trying to give up cursing. It's not really mandatory, but it's sort of trying to change my energy to kind of be happy to be like, oh hey, I got a chord for you. I want to make sure I'm a cool rock dude, right? Blues man, and not cynical like I've been coming with all these politics stuff. So, man, okay, we got to get it moving. All right, so we are about to end this stream. Thank you for coming through, Lauren. Thank you for giving me a good, you know, hurrah, I want to call it. Like I feel good that you showed up in the chat and spoke and talked a little music with me. The ukuleles has 4 strings, right? Because I was thinking about getting, because I wanted something small to like keep in the car and travel, maybe play. And I was thinking about a mandolin, but I think a mandolin is, I don't know. Mandolins are not cheap. They really are not. So maybe I just stick with the guitar before I have even more musical equipment in here and minimal talent. But that's all right. Talent and discipline. If you're really, really good at discipline, it can imitate talent, right? Uh, so yeah, if you don't think you have any talent, you can still work on your discipline and play all those crazy riffs and songs or write like just like all these other guys do. Or you can pick it up late in life and people be like, oh my God, that woman is just unnatural. She started playing late when she was like 25 or 27 or 35 or 36 or 55 or 57, right? Um, just lean into it. Give your chance a shot with music. I think if more people did, less people would need the pills and the drugs, less people would be sort of hard to get along with, angry and aggressive. You've got, quite frankly, you've got music in your life. Like the song says, I've got the music in me. So we forgive Hats for not connecting us for like half an hour, which also sort of put me in this mood where I think I've strummed 3 chords if I did that. But remember, we will be back here tonight with the 7 p.m. show. We're gonna try and have. Uh, I was gonna do it on stream. I'm not gonna do it on stream. We're gonna try and have OBS up and running. We're gonna try and have the Xbox app up and running so we can play Guitar Hero because those are some good finger exercises. We're gonna find a song. I was thinking about what song we should start trying to play, and I have a weakness for "Here Comes the Sun" by the Beatles. It's my favorite song. I think I said that yesterday. Uh, but I think I might do that by my lonesome. I will record it. I won't stream it, and then I'll just drop the recording someplace. But I think I need to come up with something that we can all play here. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, everybody likes Blackbird. Everybody likes Yesterday, which is beautiful. But I think my favorite song of all the songs has to be "Here Comes the Sun." Right? It. I think about that song. Well, I'm from the Northeast, but I would think about that song every spring. Just like I couldn't wait for opening day, right? Because opening day takes place in not California, takes place in Florida, and it's sunny and the grass is green. But then you look out your window in New York, there's snow and slush on the ground, and you hear the weather report go, "Oh, it's going to be a sunny, beautiful day. It's going to be 24 degrees." You're like, "Ah, crap." But then, like around not November, around like February, March, uh, you get like spring training and like guys playing in the green grass and throwing the ball around. You go, ooh, summer is so close, right? And that's a nice thing, right? And so when just like when you're a kid in school in like the Northeast, when when you get those first like 6 or 7 days of like 72 degrees, it might be, ooh, it's going to be 78 degrees today, and tomorrow's going to be 65 in the high, and da, da, da. But once it goes, you see that, da, 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 spring has broken. And it's the energy of spring. I feel bad for people who never lived in temperatures that change because how do you welcome spring in California, right? The fires. How do you welcome spring in Florida? So yeah, in New York, yeah, blizzards were a pain in the ass, but for natural disasters, I'll take the blizzards over the fires. I'll take the blizzards over the hurricanes in the South. Uh, but yeah, it is not playing when it snows, boy. I remember one blizzard. We got 5 feet. No, no, there were 5 foot snowdrifts. There was like 3.5 feet of snow and like 5 foot snowdrifts. And I was a little dude. Uh, I don't remember this, but one time my mom got snowed in when she was a young mom, like with all the little ones and a couple of her nieces. And my dad got snowed in at work. So this had to be 72, 73, right? That's great. I look at my mom. My mom's in her 70s now. Uh, I look at some of the old pictures in the photo albums. My mom was so young. She was such a little hottie. My dad with his cool car and his cool hat. You just kind of like, look at these people. They were once young and out in the world doing crazy stuff. They have this great little family. It's nice, right? Uh, it's nice. Plus, if you learn this guitar thing, you can pass this down to your children or music thing. I'm not saying guitar because I want to learn music. So I want to somehow get a keyboard in here and pluck around and see those notes versus these notes. And then once I get it in my head, I'll be, man, I'm going to be a monster with it. Uh, what are those songs that they teach them playing the early song? I should buy an early song book. Just of, yeah. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna go and see if we can buy like one of those school books when they first teach you music. There's got to be one online. Someone's got to be like selling one on Etsy or something. Yeah, we're gonna do that. That's got to be fun. What would be in there? The wheels on the bus go around. No, that's really too young. Teaching music. It's got to be something like Ferro Jaka, right? Something like that, maybe in English. But yeah. So ooh, it's 8:20. So we meaning me, your boy True Armor, True S Armor on YouTube, Karma Armor on Twitch. Here on Haps, it's True Armor. Uh, please, please, please come back tonight because we will rock out. I have to come up with a guitar blues riff, and I have to come up with this OBS thing so we can game. Excuse me, I have to come up with this OBS thing so we can game. I have to figure out. I should really be writing this down. This is what the guitar book is for. I should write this down, stick some dates in it, do this correctly. Palm muting. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we know what we got to do. We're gonna knock it out. We're gonna be here tonight. We're gonna be here tomorrow morning at 7. We're gonna be here tomorrow night at 7. We're gonna be here the day after that at 7. Um, and over the course, we will transition. We will transform into a beautiful artistic butterfly, and now we're just like caterpillar, not just a caterpillar, but metamorphoses are good for the human animal. Discipline is good for the human animal, and music is good for everybody. So yeah, I want some of that. I want to be a musician, and I'm doing so publicly and declare my allegiance to musicality. Yeah, I'm going out on a limb, aren't I? How dare you? I fully expect drama and beef over some misheard notes, misdelivered notes. But I fully figure those out. Remember, one of the things that we say here is we're learning this. It's a box of mistakes. It may have 100, it may have 5,000, but we're going to do those box of mistakes, baby. And eventually that box of mistakes will be empty and there will be no more mistakes that we can make because our box is empty, right? That means we'll know what or the course we set out to know. We'll know the staff and the ledger. We'll know simple music. I've been watching stuff where they're talking about how to listen to stuff and play by ear. I'm like, you can teach people how to play by ear? That seems impossible. Started looking into it. So we're gonna find our little weird guitar practice is gonna be eclectic and beautiful, and it's gonna work, right? It's gonna work. All right. I got about 15 minutes to get ready. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for showing up 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. until the wheels fall off. Oh, and since I almost missed this thing because there was a HAPS issue, I say we can give ourselves 1 day a month, and we can only use that 1 day in a block. So you have to wait 3 months for you to use those 3 days. So if I'm going to a wedding or a funeral or whatever, I'm still streaming and I'm doing it here, and I can bank the 3 months. Right. But if some technical thing happens, there's really nothing we can do. There really isn't. I haven't come up with a sort of a fix or an idea or whatever how to do that. But like I said, it's on Haps. to stream to YouTube and Twitch, but if perhaps it's a problem, I will somehow have to stream to YouTube and Twitch in a different way, or maybe stream to Twitch, record it, and drop it on YouTube. There are ways to still do the show. The show will be done. Maybe if I can't stream, I just record it and put it on Haps with a disclaimer that this is not live, but it does fit into what we believe our mandate is, and our mandate is do it every day so the world can see it and get better every day, even if we're walking 1,000 miles, and today we only did 5 feet. It's still good, right? It's still good. We've got 5 feet behind us. We're not looking back because that start line is right there. I mean, it's right on our shoulder, the start line. We're so close to starting, but we're looking at where we're going, and we're gonna get there. And by the time we're knocking out blues riffs, or trying to play a Stevie Vaughan riff, or trying to do some B.B. King stuff, or trying to do some Eddie Vedder stuff, Eddie Van Halen stuff, or just trying to play a nice campfire song. Camptown Rage, sing that song, do da. I can't believe you know that. You're gonna have a whole bunch of weird songs that you like, not just big pop songs. Or maybe you'll like listen to it, ear training, and know like the rap thing. You play it on your piano, or and people give people a good giggle, right? That's where we're going. We're not looking at how close we are to the start line, which is still sticking on our shirt, that we're just so close to it. And one day we'll look up and dare we look back like who's the famous guy who went to hell to get his girl after she was bitten by an asp? I forget his name. All those Greek gods and characters I always forget. I want to say, I don't know. I'm thinking of Andromeda, but that's not it. He was a guy who played the lyre. Anyway, so yeah, this music is ours, and these talks that go on like this, we can do it. A lot of it is for me, some of it is for you, but know that you can internalize it too, and know that, man, I used to play a couple of things. Then I got married, then I got all bad, and kids, and maybe I should carve out. I mean, I've got time. I'm just sitting here watching Sports Center for like 2 hours. Maybe I could just watch Sports Center for not 2 hours, but just like an hour, and do a little music. And who knows? Maybe your kid will come and go, "What you doing, Dad?" And then you can get your kid into music. Right? So it's I don't see any way that being musical is not worth it. And I don't see any way that it does not build you as a person. And I happen to think that if there were more musicians in the world, there'd be less racist, less haters, less sexist people, less, excuse me. But not just, I mean, I don't want to make it sound like music is a magical elixir, but I'm pretty sure it's one of the ingredients in the magical elixir. I'm pretty freaking sure. Woo! So it is 25 minutes past the hour here. It is the 30th of June. 30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31 except for February, which every 4 has one more. So 30 days of June. Tomorrow is July 1st, baby bubba. My official 1-month anniversary of doing this. But it's the show's will be tomorrow, the show's 13th episode, which I think is pretty good because 13 is a good luck number here in America. 13 colonies, founding fathers, all that good stuff that you're supposed to know. Am I the only one who was taught to know 13 founding fathers? You're supposed to have your favorites. There was a whole bunch of them. Or 13 founding figures. I'm not father figures, right? This is why I was like, ooh, I'm about to say John Hancock. I like John Hancock. I like that signature just for that when I was a kid. And the commercials. But no, Crispus Attucks, right? He was the first to die in the Civil War, black dude. As a kid, I felt good about that. We've always been on the scene, standing in the right direction, flag behind us as it should be, as we move forward into the world, right? Even as our own country and countrymen did not value our worth or their words to the Constitution. But yeah, we're here. We're still knocking it out. We've slipped some, but that's all right. We can make up that ground. We expect some difficult times like today with the stream. We expect that occasionally. We don't hate too much on it. We internalize it as it is, then we let it go. We don't, like, if we hit bad notes and we have a bad session, we're not bad guitarists. That was just a bad session, homie. I mean, Prince got booed, right? So, I mean, at this level, you know, you will get booed by however that is. Because right now I'm just being shown mad love in the chat, but I'm being totally booed by my fingers, who are just, especially my pinky, which has not been cooperating. But since we've been working it all week, I think you guys can see and hear the difference. Even as I don't, it's more precise, even as I don't have a lot of strength to keep being precise. So eventually I will get the strength, and from my mouth to God's ears, I will maintain precision. Because this we want discipline of it, we want the precision of finger motion, and we want the dexterity of finger movement. We know the fret. We want to know the fret like we know, like I said earlier, we know the fretboard like kids know reading, but sometimes you still have to help them with words. That's kind of where we are. We want to know the fretboard like an adult knows how to read a book, right? They just zip right through it. Oh, this is it. That's what we want, and that is coming. That is slowly coming. Yeah, so it is just under an hour, 56 minutes. It should have been an hour and 56 minutes, but that's all right. More like, about an hour, 20 minutes, but that's all right, Haps. I still got love for you. I want to thank Lauren Locklear for coming through and giving us some good, cool convo up in the chat. And I want to thank everyone else who watched. Like and subscribe, as they say. Do they even still say that? On YouTube and on Twitch. YouTube, I'm True S Armor. And on Twitch, I'm Karma Armor, Karma, Karma Armor, ARMA. The spelling is different. And let's get our day started. Let's go to our salt mines and make our day's wages and come back here and not lament our fate. That was the old day. We're going to come back here and praise our future, because when this whole thing takes off the way the world is now, you may have a new career. I got love for you. Thank you for coming through. I will see you tonight at 7, and I will see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. And I will see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. So, thank you, and see you in the next one.